representing AmaTuks, joins me here on stage. Coach, just opening remarks. I'm sure you've had enough time to plan for the fixture. It's 2 days away. You play obviously against Mamelodi Sundowns in this one, but it's an opportunity to progress in the competition.
Thanks, my brother. Thanks for the invite. I think, it's really a great pleasure for me to be here in front of all these cameras. From our side, I think we've been preparing the team, not only this week, throughout from pre-season till now. And obviously, we are going to play against one of the big teams in the continent, Mamelodi Sundowns. We are aware that it's going to be a difficult opponent because they've been really doing well. Great club, great technical team, great coach in Rulani, and also, of course, Coach Manoba. People that I've got maximum respect for many years. And for us, more than anything, is to assess ourselves against great players of Mamelodi Sundowns, and also learn a lot from that exercise. We go in there, we are prepared obviously to play the match, to compete on the day. There's no pressure altogether on our players. They know that we've told them that, look, it's a big opportunity to play against those players. And of course, one had to use a reference of players like Andy Lejali, who are known. And the same club, AmaTuks, gave them platform around 2009, if my memory serves well. And he took opportunity, and with other players like Mkhuma. And I see it as something of that nature again. And it's about players to take opportunity and, of course, display the talent that is given by God.
Coach, what conversation or any have you had in terms of trying to invoke some of the spirits of 2009? I mean, you touched on saying that you used in terms of the career paths of the likes of Bongoma and Jali as motivation for the current players. What else have you done in terms of either comparing or looking back in terms of how the team can emulate what it did when it went all the way to the final?
We also used a simple formula of looking at our run so far, which is them who've been playing a role in the league. So we also try to use a lot of clips of those days, those type of players, those tournaments. If I remember well, the game against Kaizer Chiefs is one of the games that we used, which happened at the same stadium that we'll be playing at. So we use a lot of really elements just to show them that this thing is possible, as long as they believe. And I believe we've got players that really seize this as an opportunity, really to perform against a great team, like I said, against great players in the continent.
Okay,
I want to check something here, because you guys as coaches, you always focus more on details, so that because more. Moving the game to Lucas Moripe, does it have an impact on the preparations? Would you have loved to have it? I know because of logistics, maybe not at your own ground, but the impact of moving from your own ground to go to play in another ground which you are not really used to.
Yeah, look, Matazi, for us, we have, from technical side of things, we would have loved to play at our stadium. And looking at the fact that there are players that are just coming in now playing at professional level. And of course, the hostility at the Super Stadium will be bigger as compared to at our stadium. We're going to control it a little bit better that way. But obviously, from logistics point of view, a decision had to be taken, and one who respects it, and we move on, because we will be playing at, from technical side, it's a away game, but from, of course, logistics and stuff, it's a home game.
The next question, Vuyo.
Vuyo from Newsroom Africa. Good morning, Coach. At this period, it's very crucial. Nedbank Cup quarterfinals, but also in the domestic league as well. Still the chase for promotion. Sitting just a point away from Makesi FC. What then becomes the plan at this point in terms of navigating these two tournaments? Nedbank Cup offers its own part with continental football at the end, but also here's a bigger prize in the domestic league as well. What also then rates highest as well between these two?
I think the plan has always been there, because we don't have to plan now. It was there even before we started our pre-season, and the plan was we need to compete in both competitions, which is Nedbank and the league, and doing that we had to revisit our squad, and we had to increase the pool so that we know that at any given moment we'll be able to select any player, and we managed to get 35 players, and those players, all of them, I'm of the view that they got their run and they play a big role in terms of really competing. And for us, it's game at a time. We don't want to say league ahead of Nedbank or Nedbank ahead of. We just say a game at a time. Even our training matches, the attitude is the same. Because I'm of the view that if you want to have a winning formula, it starts that way. You need to take care of basics so that you can be able to achieve what you want to achieve. And from our side, there's always been one game at a time. And whether it's Nedbank match, whether it's a league match, whether it's a training match, all those matches are critical for us in terms of what we want to achieve.
Okay, Katlego, you already have the mic.
Coach, Katlego from the Citizen. Coach, would you agree with me that no team is invincible, but then again, answer the question, how do you be a team that hasn't lost in 20 games in the league? And just what Coach Rulani represents for young coaches like yourself?
Yeah, look, I would start first by talking about Coach Rulani, someone that I've got respect. I think he's one of the top coaches in the country, and I've got maximum respect for him. And yeah, it's going to be a difficult one playing against a team that hasn't lost a match this season. We are aware, players are aware, everyone is aware of that. At the end of the day, it's business. We have to go in and compete, and of course, more than anything, to make sure that we learn as much as possible, and we assess ourselves as a team to say, do we have what it takes to compete against the best in the continent, and from there go back and look at certain things that we need to improve, or say yes, we've got what it takes, depending on the results of Friday.
Okay, let's go to Mazola. Can you just give him the mic? There's already one in Katlego.
Thanks, morning, Coach. Yesterday after beating Cape Town Spurs, Coach Rulani said admitting that they sometimes not at their best if you look at the battle results at the moment, it's not registered defeats, but the margins are between them and the opposition. Would you agree? Is it something perhaps that you are looking to exploit, to find them maybe when yes, maybe among the best on the continent, but the last few results not as clinical as perhaps they want to be?
Look, my brother, yes, I listened to, in fact, I was watching the match, I heard him saying that. But one thing about Sundowns, no matter how they play, they're able to get results somehow, so one has to obviously be cognizant of that. They don't have to be at their best to win matches. Maybe the issue could be we want to score a lot of goals. You look at the game, they were dominating the game, to be honest. It's a ball playing team. They were rotating the ball very well. They were trying to get in behind a couple of times. And yes, maybe the goals are not forthcoming, but it's a team that on the day can cause damage. And for us, is to pay attention to those things. We need to take a motivation from that and say, as a team, looking at the fact that some teams apply themselves. You look at the game against Maritzburg, I thought Maritzburg for 60-70 minutes, they gave their best in that game. And we need to look at that and say, how best can we overcome this difficult opponent, which is Sundowns, not only domestically, even in the continent.
All right, Karabo, Temba, and then Lawrence in that order.
Good morning, Coach. I'm very much interested in regards to the players. I think this is a match that can also change their careers as well if they perform well. Having seen them or seen the training sessions over the last couple of days, what's the mood like in regards to the players? Is it a case of we also have what it takes to possibly progress? Just the mood in regards to the players in the training sessions.
Now, the mood is electrifying, to be honest, my brother. They see it as an opportunity really to rub shoulders with great players in the continent. And I have never even doubted any of our players that we have. They are looking forward to the encounter because they are aware that it can really change their lives, like you said. And earlier on, I spoke about players like Adileja Obi, who were unknown, and they used this platform. A player like Togosisi and as well. They use this type of platform, and I think out of that motivation, they see it as a possibility really for them also to really be counted.
Thank you so much, sports coach. From there, Baltimore District expects you guys to lose. Against Sundowns. The confidence that comes from their fans, from their players, and everyone else. But what will make it easy for you to use that negativity to land against you, the negative odds that you make it against Sundowns? And looking at Coach Rand, he would probably name your team from the goalkeeper on the bench and the goalkeeper on the field, the reserves, the substitutions. That's how deep it goes. What is it that you have against the Sundowns team that can actually at the end of the match say we are progressing to the next match, to the next round?
Look, my brother, I think I'm using it as technical, we're using it very smart. Whatever negativity that we find, whether through social media or whatever, it's something that I call it reverse psychology. We present it to them to say, this is what is being said. What do you think? Ultimately, you decide, so that's what we are doing, and we love that. It's good that it doesn't put even a lot of pressure on us, because I said to them, look, there's no pressure. The most important thing, go there, show us what you are made of. I've expressed it in different platforms that no one was born with experience. Somewhere along the way, I was given opportunity, you were given opportunity in your space of work. And now when we say you got experience, it's because someone said, take this and run with it, and you took it with 2 hands. And it's the same thing with them to say, the players that are at Sundowns at the present moment, they are great players. But for sure, they were not born with what they are producing now. Someone gave them opportunity somewhere along the line, and they took their opportunity and ran with it. So it's the same. They need to look at it that way and try to give their best at the end of the day. And then from there, we'll do our assessment after the game.
Coach, kind of a follow-up on Mazola's question. Based on the games that you've watched previously now, Sundowns, obviously Spurs, Yanga, Richards Bay, what did you see from that games that you can potentially exploit? Because like you said, it was really close games, and I highly doubt that you went out there and try and beat them for position or keep the ball away from them. So what did you see in those close games that maybe they just missed out on?
Look, a team like Sundowns, of course, they rotate the ball, and where the ball is, they've got a lot of numbers that is given. And of course, the question will always be, when you win the ball, what do you do with it? And in the middle of the park, how do you close the spaces so that they don't get those half spaces that the coach always talks about, And when you have a standard situation, what do you do in terms of those situations? How do you really impose yourself in those situations? So there are a couple of things that we've identified that we think if on a day we can execute them, we give ourselves a 50% chance of competing in the game. So, but otherwise, it's a difficult team. However you come, if you decide on the day to be physical, they will respond. If you decide whatever, they respond. I think, like I said, I've got maximum respect for Rulani and the rest of technical staff, including Coach Mkhuma. I know they pay attention to details, and at the end of the day, for us, is to learn and assess ourselves.
Okay, can we get a mic to Otis there?
So, Coach, Jonas from Capost. How big is the blow for not having a player like Sibanyoni who can't play because he's a Sundowns player?
Look, my brother, it's big, of course, looking at how he's been doing for us. He's been very critical for us in terms of where we are now in the league. We would have loved to have him, but the reality is we know about the loan agreement, and that agreement was there before we could even have him at our training session. So we're not going to really focus on that, worry ourselves. I see it as a platform to give other players an opportunity really to demonstrate what they are capable of. Yes, Siba would have played a great role for us. I would have loved to have him in this particular match. Unfortunately, due to, of course, contractual agreements, we're not going to have him. Not only him, promising Mkhuma also won't participate in this particular match. And we respect that because it's something that we knew when we brought him to the club.
Okay, I still have a few minutes for more questions if there are any. Going once, twice, and that's it. Thank you very much, Coach. All the best for Friday.
Thanks, my brother. Much appreciated.
We'll bring in the next